everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I just finished watching episode 12 of The Bad Batch Season 3, and yeah, this episode was kind of I guess I would call it a middle chapter, because, you know, we kind of left off in this really dramatic place where we know what the characters have to do, but, you know, this is the chapter where, like, okay, but how could they possibly accomplish this? And then next episode is going to be the one where they actually do the thing. What I mean by all of this is simply that basically the Bad Batch was left with no ship. The planet, that the island planet, is under Imperial watch now, and Omega, of course, is gone to Mount Tantus, which they have no idea where that's at. So not only do they have to sneak off this planet somehow, but they still, you know, which they were already trying to figure out, they still have to figure out where Mount Tantus is, and especially now because Omega's back there again, which, you know, does it bother me that Omega got freed from Mount Tantus at the beginning of the season only to end up back there again? Maybe a little bit, only because I kind of wish that the Batch had somehow found out where it was. That way, when she does get taken again, which I guess we could have assumed was going to happen, they could, you know, go get her. But now that we have to kind of do this episode, which is fine, it does end up bringing back Admiral Rampart, which is a character that, I'll be honest with you, I assumed that the Empire had killed this guy. I did not know he would still be alive. So basically, we have Phee, Wanda Sykes' character. She shows up, and she's like, "Oh, hey, Bad Batch, you know, let me get you off this planet." Because, of course, she knew where it was, because she was the reason that the Empire found out where it was in the first place. Remember, the assassin had hacked into her ship and found the coordinates of the planet, so that's how she knows where to go. So she goes there, and Crosshair reveals that, like, well, Admiral Rampart might know where Mount Tantus is, and of course, you know, he basically got, I don't know if you want to say framed, but at least he took the fall for the whole Kamino thing, you know. And then Palpatine did his, like, kind of master genius stroke of, like, oh, the clones attacked Kamino on their own, they attacked their own home, how crazy. And of course Admiral Rampart just kind of, like, took the fall for that one, and now I thought they had killed him, but apparently they put him in a labor camp, which, to be honest, is very similar to what we see Bill Burr's character in The Mandalorian. We find him in a very similar looking sort of labor camp for prisoners, which, you know, you're like, oh, okay, interesting. You know, the Empire, New Republic, maybe not so different sometimes. Interesting. Anyways, I don't know if they were, like, intentionally trying to draw a parallel there, but, like, I noticed, like, this very similar looking camp that they got Admiral Rampart in, that Bill Burr's character was in. Interesting. Anyways, so basically the majority of this episode is just the Batch trying to get him out of this camp. So they go in there and they free him, and you know, of course he wants out if he's going to agree to tell them anything. And they manage to escape at the end, and that's pretty much what it is. It was mostly just an action driven episode. You know, and we do see Omega at Mount Tantus a little bit, and of course they test her blood again. It confirms, like, yep, your blood can definitely be used to, like, I guess stabilize midichlorians would be the best way to describe it. Basically, like, you know, if we try to clone someone with the Force with midichlorians, normally they would degrade over time. The midichlorians would, at least, but with your blood, they stabilizes, and the midichlorians don't degrade. So again, it kind of, like, you know, is Omega Force sensitive? Maybe, but that's not really the important thing about her. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that, like, oh, she's Force sensitive, thus her blood can be used for this. It's more like whatever it is that's special about her blood can be used to stabilize a Force sensitive clone. You know, like, and that's really what we're getting at here. Man, I feel maybe it's my fault. Maybe I wasn't paying attention to what room they were walking into, but basically we're here, and what's his name, Hemlock, they're at Mount Tantus, and he's talking to Omega, trying to explain everything, like, basically just breaking down exactly why she's so special, and he's taking her through the security doors. And I thought for sure, like, oh, we're finally gonna, like, he's gonna show her what's in those vats, like what they're creating. And they're going through, like, the little laser security doors, like, and they're walking down the hallway, and I'm, like, leaning in. I'm like, oh man, we're finally gonna see what's in those goddamn vats. And no, it's actually, they're headed towards the vaults, which is where the kids are being kept that we saw a couple episodes ago. So the Force-sensitive children are there. It's probably my fault. I probably should have realized, like, no, they're not headed towards the mysterious vat room. And basically, yeah, they're just like, all right, these are the Force-sensitive kids. They're, you know, they're the other piece of the puzzle. You're one half of the puzzle. You know, mix those two together and I can make clones now, Force-sensitive clones, and there you go. And she's locked in there with the rest of the kids, because I guess, you know, where better else to leave her, right? Like, this is probably a better sell than last time. Yeah, that's pretty much how the episode ends, you know? Like, I guess next episode we're gonna hope that Admiral Rampart is at least cooperative, because hopefully he's not so stupid to think that he can somehow win back the favor of the Empire by turning in the Bad Batch, right? Like, you know, you were the fall guy, right? Like, hopefully he's smart enough to realize, like, you don't owe the Empire anything. You might as well give these guys the information they want. They helped you escape. You know, there's no reason to, like, betray them and try to turn them in or anything stupid like that. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, right? Like, Admiral Rampart, you gotta be smarter than that, right? Like, you don't think that if you betray them, maybe you'll be let back in the group. Like, no, the Empire's done with you, buddy. They threw you away. Anyways, and yeah, just look, if this show ends and we never see what's in the vat, I will be a little disappointed, only because, like, you know, that's gonna be like the end stinger of, like, the final episode. Is gonna be like, oh, here's what they were building the whole time. And, you know, is it gonna be Palpatine? Is it gonna be Snoke? Is it gonna be Rey's dad? Is it gonna be just a weird clumpy looking thing that we can't figure out what it's supposed to be? Whatever it is, I just want to, you know, I don't care which of those is right and which of those is wrong. I hope they show us, because it feels like you kind of built it up, and so if you never pay it off, I'll be a little disappointed, you know, just like a little bit. I'll be like, come on, it's right there. You know, you're doing all this legwork to tie back into the sequel trilogy and everything that was going on with Grogu and Project Necromancer. Like, you're doing all this legwork. Like, everything that the show's been building up to with Omega and why she's so special in the first place. Show us what's in the vat. You know what I mean? Like, just show us what they're trying to make. Like, we all basically know what they're trying to make. Like, we get it. Like, everything leads to Palpatine, and we get that. But, like, just let us see it. You know, however weird it might look, or whatever, however vague it may or may not be, just show us the vat. Anyways, yeah, so that's this episode. Not a whole lot to really talk about. It kind of just, you know, they rescue Admiral Rampart. They're gonna find out where Mantantis is. At Omega's locked there. Episode ends. Like, and that's really it. So, how many episodes we got left? I think two or three, maybe two. I don't know, but you know, it's gonna boil down to, like, this big rescue mission of, like, get to Tantis, you gotta rescue Omega, the Force kids, all the clones that are trapped there, and presumably a bunch of other experimental, like, beasts and animals that they have trapped there, I guess. There's a lot of people you gotta rescue, you know. Nala Se is still there, actually. Like, are you gonna rescue Nala Se? Like there's a lot of stuff that still needs to be done with Mount Tantis. And on top of all that, it's like, okay, so if they do this, is Mount Tantis decommissioned? Is it destroyed? Is it abandoned? Is it, like, you know, like, are we gonna have, like, an ending stinger where we see, like, you know, after the Ahsoka show, Thrawn is back in the universe, and famously, like, in Heir to the Empire, Thrawn came back, and, like, the first thing he does is go to Mount Tantis. Like, that's, like, the thing. That's, like, his whole plan is to go to Mount Tantis and get the clones, and he meets Jorah C'baoth there, and, you know, that's the whole story that plays out. So I'm not expecting all of that to happen. I'm just saying, like, if they were to say, like, fast forward a couple years, you know, like, at the ending stinger, like, after the credits, they're like, you know, 20 something years later, we see the Chimera popping up, and it looks the way it did at the end of Ahsoka, and he's here looking at Mount Tantis, and, like, oh, okay, so something's happening, and then it cuts to black, you know. So that would be cool. I'm not expecting that to happen, but I don't know. There's a lot of stuff they can still play around with, because Mount Tantis is very significant in Legends material, and you know, you did all the work to get us here, so I don't know, make it worth it. Do something, you know. Very curious where this all leads. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about episode 12, and how you think this is all gonna wrap up, because we only got a couple episodes left, and it feels like they got many things to do. It's not unfeasible, but like, okay, we're here. We're like at the end. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later. Bye.